I've seen some videos lately going around about how agents don't really do much. And I'll tell you, there's been a couple transactions where it felt like I didn't do much. But I'm here to tell you that more times than not, if you do listen to an experienced agent, you're going to put yourself in a better position. Just had a great example. I'm going to share with you what I tell clients and what just transpired. So I tell my clients, sellers especially, look, we're going to put the sign out. Someone may stop by. You're a grown adult. You can talk to them if you want, but it is in your best interest. The reason that you hired me is to work on your behalf. Give them my phone number. And that's not me attempting to get more business. If it goes that way, fantastic. More often than not, when someone does that, they're already represented or they don't want to be represented or whatever else. It's because I don't want my client slipping up and saying something that they shouldn't. Okay? So, I've got a house that we're going to list. We're probably going to list it in March. And actually, there's 2 properties, 2 houses. My client owns both of them. He lives in one, he rents out the other. He's going to sell the rental first, go buy another house, move his stuff, and then sell the primary house. And there's a house for sale across the street from his house. So I'm showing a bunch of houses on Saturday, and I get a call from this guy. I can't answer it. He leaves me a voicemail. Soon after, he calls me back again, leaves me a second voicemail. I get done with a couple showings. I get a break in between showings. I listen to the voicemail. First voicemail says, "Hey Brian, someone knocked on my door and is interested in buying the house. And I gave him your phone number and told him to call you." Great. Guy's listening to me. Second voicemail. "Hey Brian, so that guy called back and I set up an appointment to meet him tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to show him the house. I know you told me not to do that, and I'm sorry that I broke your rules." Okay, so how does this go? The next step, I call him back. I get the guy's phone number. I call the guy. Turns out I don't know him directly, but I know his family. They're a group of savvy investors. Obviously, he's out door knocking for potential buys. He's probably savvy. It's not his first rodeo, right? And already my client has started the conversation with him and given him a price that he feels he would like to sell the property for. That's right. So I called the guy up. I let him know that I'd be there for the showing the next morning. I asked him if he's working with an agent. Turns out I know the agent that he's normally working with as well. So I called the agent up, said, "Hey, just want to let you know, I'm meeting your client tomorrow morning at the showing." That agent never showed up. That's neither here nor there. But during the showing, and this is the conversation that now we're going to have with my seller's pointing out a lot of the deficiencies in the house. Now, do I want him to disclose anything that he knows about the house? Absolutely, right? Like, I don't want him to get in trouble. But minimizing things, saying, well, this is a small closet, or this is a steep set of stairs, or, this is kind of janky, or I didn't really build this that well, right? Like, that's not the way. When you're showing a house, especially when I'm showing a house to new buyers, I will be very quiet and let them self-discover. I'll ask them questions, and if they look at what I think is a small closet and they say it's a large closet, I mean, that's their opinion. That's a relative term, right? And I'm not going to go minimizing the size of that closet or how steep the stairs are or anything else like that, right? So, and there's a good way to show a property and there's a bad way to show a property. And again, I'm not saying don't disclose. We can talk about where the property lines are, everything else like that. But if a buyer loves something, the last thing that we want to do is tell them how awful it is. Because one man's junk is another man's treasure, and vice versa, right? Like, we also don't want to be like, this is the greatest kitchen in the world, and the buyer's like, well, it kind of smells like cat pee, right? And so I tell all of my sellers, and I give them a stack of business cards, and I say, don't talk to buyers. Let me do my job. Let me help you and position your house the best. The other thing is this buyer even pre-qualified? That's one of the questions that I asked him. Like, what's your horsepower? Is this guy just scoping out your house to see if you have any guns or jewelry to steal? That's another thing that we need to be worried about, right? There is a series of questions that I ask any buyer that calls me off of a sign. And it's always very pointed, right? Like, what's your interest in this area? Why do you want to buy? Are you pre-qualified? Do you have cash? Are you working with another agent? And the reason why I ask, are you working with another agent, is because I want to maintain a level of professionalism around here, right? Like, I don't want a buyer coming to look at a house who is already represented by another agent and he's not bringing his agent. If I tell the other agent and the other agent is fine with it, then I'm fine with it. That doesn't bother me at all. But like for me, when I'm representing my buyers, I want to be there. I want to see the house. I want to see what they see. In fact, recently I had a buyer stop by an open house and want to write an offer on the open house, on the house, but I hadn't seen it. So I want to see the house. I need to see houses anyways. But I've worked with these buyers a lot, and maybe there's something that they're missing. Maybe they got really excited about the backyard and they forgot that they want a master bedroom on the main level or something, right? In fact, I showed another property this weekend, different set of buyers, and I was 99% sure they weren't going to write an offer. And we looked at the house and they're like, ooh, we could do this. And they fell in love with the interior of the home. Problem was, we couldn't change the road. The road was super busy and there was no master on the main level, right? And so that's why I always ask if buyers have buyer's agents, is because I want to write, if someone's going to present an offer to my sellers, I want to know that they're super confident about that offer. We don't need the practice of putting this under contract, going through inspections, and then terminating the deal. So, sellers out there, if you're working with an agent, get your agent involved as someone talks to you about that property. Buyers, if you're going to look at a house, just a drive-by, and there happens to be an agent there, and they invite you in, like, tell your buyer's agent that you went and saw 123 Main Street and what you thought about it. Give them the feedback, right? It's thank you for, saving me an hour of going over and seeing the house, but I didn't get that feedback, and that's the most important thing. So when I'm working with other agents, when I'm working with clients, I always tell them, like, let's stay in the loop. If you happen to see an open house, tell me about it. Tell me what you thought about it. If you're a seller and a buyer knocks on your door, like, just hand them my business card and tell them to talk to them. Protect yourself. This is going to be a huge, huge purchase or sale that we're going to be doing. I do this every day. Lean on me. I'm the professional. You guys got questions? Let me know. Love it if you smash the subscribe button and like my video. BK knows the way.